Assalamualaikum. I'm Zahira Zainal Alias. My matric number 11800060. I'm representative from Group 1 will present how newspapers frame Islam-related events in news reporting. Jealousy is motive in Tafiz students' abuse. Sensation and conflict are it? The following is a headline from New Straits Times online on 9 November 2019, which is one of Malaysia's local newspaper that researchers select. Before entering the discussion, for information, Mahat Hafiz School in Malaysia are known as private Islamic schools, where the school must register below with the respective state religious council or department to ensure that the school is safe to be used as a place to study, and the teaching and learning system is always monitored by a representative of the religious department. Back to the topic. Why should such a headline be delivered in the form of a sensational story? Moreover, it involves Muslims. This is what the researcher wants to convey. It is framing news. According to the Media Insider 2019, framing news are media representation that are not reflections of things already have meaning, but they are meaning makers of things that happen in reality. It made by mass media, and the point they're doing this is because simply to exert dominance to keep those in non-elite groups in their place to maintain social supremacy. So, in this discussion, the researcher will show how the same case but reported from various other local newspapers. Before that, let's know the summary of this case. A brave cases. Our news selection is about Muhammad Aimin Nurul Amin's a 7-year-old boy fatally beaten by 3 friends at the Lanchang Tafiz School Temerloh Pahang on 7 November 2019. According to a report from Harian Metro 2019, Pahang Criminal Investigation Department Chief Dato' Osman Nayan said the school had only 4 students, including the victims, and it started operating in January without getting permission from the Pahang Islamic Religious Department Jaib. Muhammad Aimin died and believed that have been beaten by his friend because there were bruises on the victim's body. In the incident, around 1 p.m., the 7-year-old victim was found in a weak condition by a female warden before being taken to the Lanchang Health Clinic for treatment. Dato' Osman Nayan said the victim's body was taken to Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Hospital, Temerloh for postmortem, and further investigation was carried out in accordance with Section 302 of the Penal Code.
My name is Nur Ain binti Muhammad Fauzi. My matric number 11800056. Okay, so I want to analyze about source of the news. In this case of little brother Muhammad Aimin was reported by Muhammad Fairuz Azizan as a reporter of New Straits Times by 9 November 2019. He said that this case involved government official, which is Pahang Police Chief Dato' Abdul Jalil Hassan, while the Star published on the next day, 10 November 2019. Similarly with New Straits Times, the source of the Star is government official also with same police chief Dato' Abdul Jalil Hassan. He said that due to jealousy of the victim closeness to the couple who run the Tafiz school, a fight ensued between them and caused Muhammad Aimin beaten up and death. On top of that, the headline from these two news, the Star and New Straits Times, was conveys the same meaning by highlighted the cause of jealousy. Accompanied by this news is the photo of the coffin Muhammad Aimin, 7 years old, and the Pahang police chief. And source of the photo by Farizul Awang from New Street Time. Said that several men carrying the coffin to the van, picturing that. And Pahang Police Chief Dr. Abdul was giving up the statement. Yeah.
For the types of the news, for both news from the Star and New Street Times, they both are having same types, which is the news are written in the short news. But for Malay Mail News, the author state the report regarding the condition of the victim in his writing. If we are moving to the nature of news and the issues, for the nature of the news, the one that most obvious for every news is about crime that have been committed by underage student at the Tahfiz.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Naziha Ibni Hajar. My metric number is 1180049. Inshallah, I will share my part in this presentation, which is news framing used in the selected newspapers and news trends to Islam. First of all, let me share the newspaper that our group has selected. We have selected 3 types of newspaper, which is New Straits Times, The Star, and Malay Mail newspaper. In New Straits Times, there are 2 news covering about the same case with headline. First, abuse suspected in Tahfiz student's death. Second, jealousy is motive in Tahfiz student's abuse. Meanwhile, in The Star, the same news has covered but not mentioning Tahfiz in their headline. However, when we read Malay Mail News, also for the same case, they use sensational headline and highlights the Tahfiz schools with murder case. Their headline is Teenage Tahfiz School Charged with Murder of Fellow Schoolboy in Temerloh. From these 3 newspapers, we can see different newspapers reported the same news with different framing. Many of them try to highlight tahfiz that related to Islam to attract audience attention. These framing can be categorized under human interest personalization as they tend to seeking audience attention with involving religion elements in the headline. We move to next point, which is news trends to Islam. As the media mentioning tahfiz in their headlines and related with the negativity, this has shown that the news trends to Islam is really negative. In conclusion, we can say that media looks like to frame Islamic institution as unsuccessful and backward as they relating the serious crime with tahfiz on their headlines. In my opinion, this kind of headline should not written in the newspapers, especially in the Muslim country. Even the case is true, the media should not highlighting or relating the case with mentioning the religious institution where the case was happened. Instead, they should just generalize the headline without saying tahfiz. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Abdul Iman bin Abdul Malik and my metric number is 1180095. So I am one of the group that discuss about the NST, which is a well-known newspaper in Malaysia. And my role in this assignment, I will discuss about the field of specialization for this newspaper. So NST is a newspaper that published to highlight current and corporate issues in Malaysia in English language. So easy mean even this newspaper is local news, but it also have to look like international newspaper because it show to the international about Malaysia issues, and that is published in English language. So as such, along with the development of modernization and the country's expanding market, the spelling also changed as it appeared as a newspaper that provided content or slot focused on incorporate sections. Once upon a time, this is an international newspaper that show about the corporate issues in Malaysia like business or others. But now it become it also have a slot or segment which we can say incorporate sections. So there are several incorporated sections that can be classified in this paper, namely first, boats. Boats is the one of the incorporated section or segment in this newspaper because it also previously known as TNU. The Pulau debuted on 1 January in 1946 as Compute Times, a part of the News Streets Times dedicated to information and communication technology (ICT). Previously, it was published every Thursday, and in the 1990s, it was published on Mondays and Thursday, and also on 1 August 2005. It was decided that the Monday issue will focus on the corporate sector, while the Thursday edition it will focus about the consumer sector. What we have to do, what we cannot do, what should we report, okay? And TNU also became a weekly newspaper on January 1, 2008, and is distributed with the New Street Times every Monday, with a growing consumer focus while keeping a pulse on the corporate environment. So there are other sector that also incorporate sector. One and lastly, I can say is a Jom. Jom is the weekly segment which discuss about the travel full out. Formerly known as the Travel Times. It was initially produced in 1999 in support of the government's Cuti Measure initiative. It's about the travel, okay? In millennium era now, we can say like vlog, but this is in aspect of the print. So it became Malaysia's only weekly travel newspaper Pulau, dedicated to publishing travel and travel related news and features, and it continues to be Malaysia's only weekly travel newspaper Pulau, dedicated to tourism to this day. So just this can I discuss about the field of specialization of this newspaper, which I can say first, once upon a time is a corporate newspaper, and right now it became two segments, which it have corporate and incorporated segments. So thank you for that.
The conclusion is all media organizations have their own agenda, and this affects the way they're framing the news, either good or bad. We as an audience cannot fully believe what is conveyed by the news media. Need to do a little research and consider what the purpose behind their agenda is. While for journalists who make reports, there must be sensitivity in them when writing. They should already know about the key principle of sensitivity in language. That is to avoid using non-sexist, non-ageist and non-discrimination word choices. Need to do revision or review back the basic in news writing, and you can refer Inside Reporting by Tim Harrower 2007. That's all from us. Thank you.